at the end of the day, if you want to have a good life, you're going to have to strive. If you want to be financially independent, you're going to have to work. If you want to get girls, you're going to have to learn how to be seductive and get girls and seduce them and speak to them and fuck them. And then once you have relationships, maybe you don't want to fuck 10 girls a month, but you want to have a wife or you want to have a girlfriend at least. Hey guys, Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlschase.com. Today I want to talk about a meme that's going around that I've seen on YouTube called Reject Modernity and Embrace Masculinity. And what's my perspective on this as a dating coach, teaching men how to be better men and how to seduce women and have romantic relationships, sexual relationships, and anything that they want in their life. So if you've seen this meme around, you probably have if you subscribe to my channel, because you probably get recommended shit in line with that. Usually it shows, some sort of degeneracy or, laziness, being fat, guys, acting like furries or, dressing up like girls, toxic masculinity this, feminism this, it's okay to be weak this, da-da-da-da. And then it shows, Ziz is really becoming popular again. He's a bodybuilder, influencer guy back in the day. They'll show, bodybuilding stuff. They'll show, Spartan 300 clips. They'll show footballers, athletes, artists, men shit, right? Cool stuff. So what's my perspective on this? I think it's great. I think that obviously it could be taken to a stupid degree and you can kind of make a caricature of masculinity and maybe present it as too much one-dimensional thing, which I'll go over a little bit because I think there's some exceptions to what many might consider traditional masculinity, but I still think it's masculinity just with a hint of flair or edge in a little bit of a different direction. I guess I'll talk about that fucking now. Okay, so traditional masculinity. I suppose I should make a video on that. I'll go into it a little bit here. What makes someone traditionally masculine and why should you reject modernity and the belief that there isn't a such thing as masculinity and you can just be whatever the fuck you want? Well, my fucking experience as a dating coach and seeing women and men compete for each other, which at the end of the day, the dating market is a competition. But of course, some people are gonna say, well, it's not about women, da-da-da. Yeah, I get it. All right, but this is a fucking dating channel, okay? It's about getting girls. So we're obviously gonna talk about what women find attractive, because if you are what women find attractive, then women are gonna be attracted to you and you're gonna get girls, okay? So from this perspective, as a dating coach, teaching you how to get with girls and make them attracted to you, traditional masculinity is very attractive. Now, there's some things you can't fucking control. You can't control how tall you are. You really can't control your face, but you can lose weight and, make yourself a little bit more chiseled. You can give yourself a nice body. You can learn how to wear good clothes and learn fashion, how to groom yourself, how to present yourself, how to be more charismatic, how to be more funny, how to be more sexy, how to fuck good, how to make them come, how to be social, how to be interesting. There's a lot of different ways that you can improve yourself. And I think that's what the center of the Embrace Masculinity movement, I suppose, is about, or just, trying to wake us up and not just be lazy and play video games all day. No, which is kind of funny because I play a lot of fucking video games. But how to just be better, right? And what is presented as modernity and the loss of masculinity is becoming too feminine, becoming lazy, not striving for greatness, da-da-da. In that sense, yeah, it's fucking true. Like, women, for the most part, want winners. They want guys who may not have the biggest muscles, but they're strong in their mind and they're determined and they're inspired and they're passionate about whatever it is that they're passionate about: bodybuilding, art, music, esports, traditional sports, business, whatever the fuck it is. A guy who's winning. Women like that. They're just attracted to it. I guess we could go into the philosophy of it, but at the end of the day, they're just attracted to men who are striving after those things. Now, are those things masculine? That might be one argument that someone in the modern perspective says, well, that's not necessarily masculine. Yes, it is. At some point, you're going to have to delineate between what is femininity or what is masculinity, because then the discussion of the pronouns and all this shit doesn't even make sense because you don't have a firm definition of which fits which category. And then words just become meaningless, right? So you do have to draw a line, and this is a masculine trait and this is a feminine trait. But what's interesting is that there are a lot of men who are traditionally masculine and very fucking good with women who have elements of femininity. I would say that grace, a lot of high value men are graceful. It's the physical, how you move in the room when people see you walk, and you're very good with the way that you exit a conversation and enter a conversation, and good comedic timing is a graceful aspect, or a graceful thing. It's part of femininity. Learning how to dress well, I would say, is feminine. It's presentation. Learning how to groom yourself, how to speak in a beautiful way. It's a feminine trait, but can be embraced by men. But then on the extreme side, like really like feminine stuff, like dressing girly or dressing weird, not just being, shaved head or you're like fucking buff and you're just very stoic and like, there are men who don't fit that mold but are very fucking good with women. And some of the best men that I've ever met in terms of fucking a lot of girls do have a lot of feminine characteristics. They're a little bit more flamboyant with their mannerisms. Maybe, look at Prince or Russell Brand. There's a lot of men out there who have these feminine elements, but they still have a core masculinity. And what can be defined as masculinity in the cultural or energetic sense would be drive and a penetrative element to them. They go for it. They're willing to go walk up to the girl. They're willing to enter that competition. They're willing to push themselves 10 hours a day to do whatever it is that they really want to be good at. Women can also embrace those characteristics that are masculine and be really disciplined and driven and passionate. And that doesn't make them masculine men unless 51% of their personality tips in that direction, then they're masculine men. There's a shit ton of women who are very feminine and beautiful and sexy, so they embrace their femininity, but then they have enough masculine characteristics that they become successful in whatever sense for them is success, or just in the general sense of they get a lot of subscribers, or they make a lot of money, or they're very successful, or they're very well known, whatever it is. They are driven by masculine or feminine energy, but then have enough masculine elements that it supplements them and pushes them. But also men can be 90% masculine, but have that 10% femininity in whichever, piece that they choose to put on themselves. Maybe it's their fashion, or maybe it's their mannerisms, or maybe it's the way they speak. Maybe they don't have a really deep voice and they're all talking like this, but they're still very interesting, even though they just don't have the right octave. So there's a lot of ways that a woman or a man can take a piece of the opposing energy that they enjoy and that they feel inclined towards, but they make it interesting and beautiful, right? So that's the only exception to the idea that I want to open your eyes to, that it is possible to have feminine aspects to your personality, but at the core, to embrace masculinity. And masculinity would be drive, would be passion, would be going for it, would be the willingness to compete with others, which would be criticized as toxic masculinity. But the people who are saying that are probably just as competitive and fucking, but it takes, they're feminine about it. They're snarky and they're passive aggressive and they're fucking gossipy, right? But they're still fucking competing, and we're all competing with each other in some sense. A lot of us can win, but many times when it involves winning, you getting this girl, there was another guy that maybe you didn't even know, but he wanted her to, and technically he lost. But of course you can go win with a different girl, okay? So it's not a zero-sum game where there's only an absolute winner and an absolute loser, but we're still competing with each other, and that willingness to compete is a masculine trait that both men and women can embrace. But I would highly suggest that, as much as these are memes, they still have some truth to them. So I would highly recommend that in your life, but if you watch this channel, you probably have this perspective, right? So this is, I guess, for people who are a little bit on too much of the extreme of the masculine or too much of the extreme on the feminine, that if you are a man watching this channel, though we do have a lot of female viewers, if you're a man watching this channel, embrace masculinity. And that means not necessarily shaved head, fucking huge bodybuilder who's a millionaire and fucks 10 girls a fucking hour and, you know, is just an absolute fucking winner, right? You don't have to go to that extreme. You might just not have that ambition, and as much as you try to push yourself to it, you just don't really care about being that successful. But you should strive to the degree with which you will feel satisfied. And once you get to that point, you can relax. But of course, you know, there's problems in that as you start to feel apathetic. You know, where are you going in life now? Which is an interesting element of masculinity of when does it stop? But that's a different discussion. At the end of the day, if you want to have a good life, you're going to have to strive. If you want to be financially independent, you're going to have to work. If you want to get girls, you're going to have to learn how to be seductive and get girls and seduce them and speak to them and fuck them. And then once you have relationships, maybe you don't want to fuck 10 girls a month, but you want to have a wife or you want to have a girlfriend at least. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. It's not feminine, it's masculine because you want women. So you're going to bring your masculine energy, right? But that's totally okay. But you still have to find that girl and you have to seduce her and you have to get in a relationship with her if you want it to be a good relationship, okay? So you're gonna have to work. And this being a dating channel, you're gonna have to go out and approach girls. You're gonna have to learn how to be attractive. You're gonna learn how to be charismatic, how to speak well, how to listen well, how to have good conversations, how to learn how women work. It's an art and you're gonna have to learn it, and that's gonna require a lot of effort, and it's going to require a fair amount of approaching and rejection, but another element of masculinity is willing to withstand pain to get that which you want. That is one of the most core elements of masculinity, is that rugged perseverance and grit of enduring pain to get what you want, whether it's getting that last rep, staying that extra hour at work, practicing that extra hour at your sport. Whatever it is, you push, you're passionate, you're determined, and you're driven. So in that sense, yes, reject modernity. I fucking suck at that word, by the way. Modernity? No, it's not modernity, it's modernity, but it sounds like maternal, I don't know. Whatever, reject modernity. Reject the modern bullshit. I'm gonna say that's better. It's just a weird word for me, modernity. Oh God. And embrace masculinity. Learn how to speak right? Fucking LOL. All right, so back to the point. Yes, embrace masculinity, be a man. People telling you it's toxic to want to go fuck a bunch of girls or this, don't listen to them. Whatever you want, you go after it. Fucking cheesy ass inspirational, you know, poster on the gym wall of don't give up, it's how many times you get up. Yeah, but it's fucking true, okay? So go after what you want. Embrace the challenge, embrace the grind. And then once you get what you want, then you can be as feminine and weird as possible. But if you've gotten to that point, you've probably metamorphosized your fucking personality and you've embraced masculinity as much as you could and have become a new man, because that's what's going to happen when you chase after what it is you want. You're going to have to change. There's going to be an alchemical change in your fucking bones and your personality and your cells that is going to have to happen, because whoever you are now, if it's not getting what you want, you're gonna have to change to a certain degree. And that's gonna require grit and perseverance, which is core masculine identity and energies and principles. And I highly suggest that you do it. So yes, reject the modern bullshit, embrace the masculinity, and go after what you want. I've repeated myself enough. Hope you got the fucking point. Enjoy the memes. And yeah, be a man. Okay, even though it's not necessarily always the traditional caricature of what we call a man, but 90% is. All right, cool. Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlchase.com. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, go fuck yourself. I love you, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao.